The 28th Angle Podcast.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hi.
Happy Hump Day.
Oh,
Thanks
I almost
for coming
interrupted.
back with us. I know.
All right. So today's episode is going to be about Victoria and her husband. It will be their anniversary by the time this airs. And so did you want to introduce our special guest?
Sure. So this is my husband, Wayne. You guys have heard a lot about him, but now he's finally here. So I think this is going to air on our anniversary, right? This airs on the 1st. So we'll have been married 17 years the day that this airs. So
That's insane.
It's a long time to be with one person. No,
I know. 19 years together, 17 years married.
I'm 1 year behind you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, we're winning, so.
Yeah. We'll never catch up.
So, anyways, they got a lot of questions to answer.
Yep.
So let's get into it.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Three best friends twist and spin. Victoria, Heather, and Shelley, let the fun begin. Stories to tell, laughs to ignite. It's a 28th angle shining bright. Every week a brand new game. Three voices, one wild flame. Come hang with us, you'll agree. The 28th angle's the place to be.
Okay.
All right.
So Heather and I came up with a bunch of questions for you all. So the first question I'm going to ask is, how did you two first meet in World of Warcraft, and who noticed who first?
I mean, we met. Nobody noticed anybody first, really.
Her mom noticed me first.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So he left.
Actually, I think Heather noticed me first.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Technically. And then like 30 minutes later, her mom messaged me.
Yeah, so we had this thing where when people would leave the guild, we would message them and like say, "So sorry to see you go." And it was mainly because the guild leader was a huge asshole and we knew why people were leaving. So we like played the extra nice part and messaged people when they left. And so that's kind of just how it went. He left for exactly what everybody leaves for in that guild, in our family guild way back then. And I think it was, my sister that messaged him first. Then my mom messaged him. And then I think my mom, he had joked and said, "Hey, put in a good word for me," because my mom brought up having twin daughters in the guild. And then my mom messaged me joking about putting in a good word for him. He's like, "Oh, Malice said to put in a good word for my daughters about him or something." So then I messaged him to do the normal guild thing, but brought that up. And I was like, "I heard you said to put in a good word for for me."
True love. Right from the start.
Yeah, so
It started as a joke.
that's kind of how it started. That's how we started talking.
Aw. So what were your characters? And well, I know you guys were hordes. So what characters were you playing at the time? Do you remember? Like,
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah, I was
remember the names.
I was an undead rogue. It was Archelony. Yeah,
Undead Warlock. My original Warlock.
Malice. Yeah.
Oh. So we've heard Victoria's story on how your first real life meeting was like. So how is it for you, Wayne, when you first met her in real life?
She had plans to fly up to meet me. It was like a Saturday, and I was Air Force at the time, so I was stationed on Charleston Air Force Base. And the plan was she would fly into Charleston Air Force Base because it shared a airport with Charleston City. And so it was like 5 minutes down the road. I was like, "You can land, give me a phone call, and I'll head over and pick you up." So she goes to the airport, gets on her plane. We say, whatever, good luck, have, a good flight. And then I expected a call. And then when I got the call, she was calling me with a layover in like, I don't know, Virginia or something.
No, it was Michigan.
Michigan. I'm like, "Why did you go over South Carolina to come to South Carolina?" And then, I didn't say South Carolina. I was like, "Why did you go there? Why is there a layover?" And she's like, "I don't know. But the next flight's going to Charlotte, and then I'll be there." I'm like, Charlotte. She goes, yes. And I said, Charlotte, North Carolina. She goes, yes. I said, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. And so then a little bit of panic and everybody was upset a little bit. Try to get her to see if she could change the flight, but I was ignorant of how the airports worked because, I was very young. And of course, you can't just do that. So I told her I'd call her back in a few minutes. And I grew up in North Carolina, which is like 4 hours away from where I was staying in Charleston. So I called my dad and I was like, hey, how far is it from your house to Charlotte? And he's like, oh, it's like 2 or 3 hours. I'm like, oh, it's not too bad. And so then I called her back. I said, just get on your plane and I'll head out and I'll meet you there. And, I knew there'd be some waiting involved, but what else can we do? And so I filled my truck up and I got like 2 big giant monsters because I was not expecting a road trip.
3 or 4 hour drive. Yeah.
And then hit the road. And I think by the time I got there, she'd been waiting like 2 hours or something at the airport at like 10 or 11 at night. So it was like not a lot of traffic there, dark. And then we went, got a hotel, got some food, and then drove back down to Charleston the next day.
Wow.
But what was your thoughts when you first met me?
There she is. I don't know. I'm nervous meeting the first time, but I mean, she's looked just like her pictures. I knew she'd be tired, maybe a little nervous. And because it was dark and late and it was like some weird, creepy garage, I was like, let's just get her out of here somewhere so she feels safe. Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, Heather, you're next.
So we kind of know like the deployments, what made you get married, but in you guys' opinion, what made you get married so quickly before your deployment? Like, why did you feel like you had to get married? I guess.
Who's it for, her or me?
Whoever wants to
Both of
answer.
you.
Whoever, yeah.
So for me, I wanted to get married anyway. He was the one that was kind of not even on the fence. He was way across the yard about it. But I was ready to get married anyway. I feel like because I had already like given up my whole family, my whole life, and moved up there to be with him anyway. And I felt like I had no choice but to do that because he was in the military. So, obviously that was the only way to be together in person. And it had been 2 years at that point. And for me, I guess it wasn't that I wanted to get married right away. It was that I wanted like an engagement, I guess, or something along those lines. But that was before I even knew he was getting deployed at that time. So I guess I'll let him answer his side for why he decided to marry me for his deployment.
She can't get mad at me for anything I say. So, for me, I had no plans of getting married anytime soon because I was happy just being a couple together for probably forever. We could have maybe got married someday. I don't know.
Who knows?
But one day. But when I got the orders to deploy, all I thought was she's been with me for like 2.5 years. And she hadn't, I pulled her away from Florida and all her friends and family are support. So she'd be left by herself. And she hadn't been able to work, not really, or go to school or anything. So she just spent 2 years stagnant with me. And if I had died, then I would have felt really bad that she wasted 2 years or so on me. So at least if we were married, she can at least get all my benefits. And it would be like, there you go. Consolation prize.
Well,
So I didn't want to leave her out in the rain. I wanted her to be taken care of if I had died.
Yeah, which is a good reason, I think, anyway. So what was the wedding like?
There was no wedding.
It was perfect.
So I think we decided on a date. I don't know. We decided on a date because we really only had a couple choices, to be honest. Like he was leaving in like 2 months. I think we had 2 months or less than that.
It was like a month away.
Yeah. So, I mean, we went to the courthouse, got a marriage license, had to take it to my friend Lindsay, who worked at like a mobile home. She was like selling mobile homes or trailers or whatever. And she was the only notary that I knew. She was really one of my only good friends there anyway. But I knew that she was a notary. So we went to the courthouse, got marriage license, took it to her work at some mobile home selling place, had her notarize it while she was at work.
That was it.
Then we went to the mall and bought me a new phone.
Yeah. Which I think she dropped to be an ice cream or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, that was our wedding day.
Were you guys nervous about making that decision so fast?
No.
No, I wasn't. I
Looking
already
back-
knew I wanted to.
Looking back, would you do anything different in that aspect?
About that specifically?
Yeah,
Being
the
married?
wedding, getting married. Yeah.
No, I don't think
No.
so. No.
It worked out how it was going to work out.
Yeah.
17 years later, I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so too. So what was the hardest part about being apart during deployment?
Not knowing if he was alive or dead every single day.
Downplaying all the daily explosions. Because we'd be chatting and I'd be like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. Not really. We're outside of the shelter.
There'd be nights I wouldn't, like, I normally hear from him, like, every night at, like, I don't remember exactly, but like every night at 10 p.m. I would, have an email for him. And there'd be plenty of days where I just wouldn't hear from him. So it's like, is he dead or is he off work? I don't know.
Yeah, I never ever told her what was going on.
Yeah.
I was always like,
Yeah.
oh, I was busy.
And
or
I wasn't supposed
whatever.
to know anyway. So that was just how it goes. And I knew that. I knew just because I didn't hear from him didn't mean, that something happened. It just meant I didn't know. And that's what happened. That's what went on in my head. And you just never know because you hear the kind of stuff that goes on over there. And you just never know if it's you or not. Could it be you? Could it not be? So it was really hard. And, but I don't know. I think being apart that whole time, our first year of marriage, it wasn't even just that for us really, because he came home in December. He left in June and he came home in December. Realistically, it's not that long, but long enough, to be where he was at in that state of worry all the time for me. But then right before he came back is when my grandpa got diagnosed with cancer. Actually, while he was gone, my grandpa got diagnosed with cancer. And that's when he got told he had 6 months to live. So he actually came home in December and I was there to like greet him and spend some time with him. But then I immediately left and went to Florida for like 3 or 4 months to spend my last couple months with my grandpa. So we were apart literally our entire first year of marriage, just because of all the circumstances. So it was hard all the way around, but I think it taught us a lot. And it put like, for me, it like gave us rules to follow for when we are apart. Like, not rules, but our only real rule when we're apart is he has to call me before he has to go to bed, or I have to call him before I go to bed. So we have to talk to each other at the end of every day. Is that how you put it? Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Well, you guys said that when he was deployed, you mainly stayed in contact with emails and stuff, but were there phone calls? No, just emails.
Not really. No.
I heard his voice. He got to call me once the entire like 8-month deployment or something. 7 months. He called me once. So I heard his voice once that entire time.
Oh, yeah.
The rest was all email.
Or
And
letters.
I imagine that time apart made your relationship stronger.
Yeah, and I sent him care packages all the time. Like,
Yeah,
I
she
think
sent me
every
like a
week.
box. It would take like 2 weeks to make it out to me.
I made
Oh.
homemade Red Krispy treats like every couple days to send him. Legit, like,
And probably spent like $1,000 on video games. Just
yeah, to send him.
That's crazy. So family life. So you tried for a long time. For your first baby, what was that journey like?
Stressful and exhausting.
It was exhausting.
Yeah, it took us 7 years. And I think we had given up at that point, but it was hard because it was like, we didn't know if it was me or him. And then at some point he was worried. He didn't want to go get tested because he was worried it would be him. And I was like, it's not like I'm going to be upset that I don't get to have a baby. Like, I don't want a baby with just anybody. I want his babies, I think that was a really
Sure
hard
got what
time
you
for
asked
us.
for, huh?
Huh?
Said you got what you asked for, huh?
Right. Yeah, that's
His
for
baby.
sure.
Was it 7 years? I thought it was 5.
It
I
was
thought it was 5.
it was 7.
She was counting, I guess. Not me.
Well, I think it was about 5 or 6 years when we stopped trying.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah. And then a year or so after that, I forgot it could even happen. And it did. So
Well,
We
that's
said to
the
move
next
to a
question.
house.
What was it like when you finally found out you were expecting? So
shock. I didn't believe it for a long time. But I think Heather was the first person I called, I think, right? I was still in the bathroom, I think, when I called you.
I don't remember.
When the test said yes. But I think I took the test randomly because I can't remember. Like I realized how late I was and I had like all these symptoms. And so I was like, whatever, I'm just going to test. I know it's going to be no. I did that 1,000 times. I know it's going to be no, but I'll do it just so I know. And then it wasn't no, it was yes. So I thought it was wrong, probably. And then I think even the entire pregnancy, it affected the entire pregnancy for me because I felt like I couldn't love this baby. Like something was going to happen. Like it was too good to be true type scenario. Like I wouldn't let myself get too attached to it. Like, I mean, it probably wasn't until he was here where I was like, okay, this is real.
This is my baby.
He does exist. So, yeah.
So how did becoming parents change your relationship?
I don't think it did.
No, I got really good at changing diapers because she has no sense of. She has a terrible gag reflex.
I think if anything, like on that, like we were together for so long and had our routines and all that stuff, really just like communicating who does what or like realizing how exhausting each was to find a balance of, you know, like I always get to sleep in on Sundays and things like that. Like, but I don't really think it changed our relationship at all.
No.
We just had an extra person to care for.
Do your boys know that their parents met in a video game?
I think so.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure we told the story. to them a
Alistair
couple
knows
times.
for sure. Bash, I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I definitely told Alistair the story.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Shelley.
All right. We just have a couple of fun couple questions. So you both can answer at the same time if you want. 1 second. I got to.
They cut that out. You okay, Shelley?
Okay, sorry about that. Who is more stubborn?
Me.
Victoria.
Now, Wayne, this is a safe space, okay?
I know. I already said I'm gonna be honest. I can't get in trouble for anything I say here.
Who apologizes first?
Me.
Win.
I think we know all these answers. Who is more likely to stay up late gaming?
Me.
These days, Wayne, yeah.
Who is the stricter parent?
I don't know.
Probably him.
I try to get them to do what they're supposed to do. Yeah, I'd say probably me.
Who spends more money on random stuff?
Victoria.
Random stuff? Me, for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Heather?
What is the secret to being married for 17 years?
Don't get divorced.
That's the secret. Okay.
I think a lot of things that people don't think about when you think about being married is just leaving room for growth for each other. Like I hear all the time, like, oh, he's just not the same person he was when I met him. Like, well, they're not going to be. You know what I mean? You don't want somebody to be the same person they were 17 years ago. I think as long as their like ethics and morals and all that align with yours, you have to allow a person to grow and change. Like something he loved 10 years ago, he may hate now or love and hate it then. You know what I mean? Like I think a lot of issues with relationship is they don't like leave room for growth and still have that love there for it. So, I mean, I think me and Wayne have grown a lot just as individuals and then, you know, share our lives together. So,
I think also being able to compromise.
yeah,
Be,
compromising.
be there for each other when things aren't so fun or happy.
And I know this is like the traditional, people say this all the time, but there are a lot of days where you just have to choose to love each other. Like, you know, it would be easy to be annoyed and hate him on some days and just leave. But you don't. You choose to stay. You choose to choose love. Like, you know.
Mhm.
What is one piece of advice that you would give couples?
Communicate.
Communicate. Yeah, for sure. Communicate everything.
Yeah. Don't hide feelings and then
They'll grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
I'll tell
something
you
you
that.
admire most about each other?
I've already said this before. Another question here is she makes me answer, but like her ambition, her creativity. Like she's got a billion little projects, but she always follows through with them. Like her costume she did for Steven's wedding. Our silk costume she put together that one Halloween. Like her massive graveyard she likes to do for Halloween. Like she goes full into everything. It always turns out really good, even when she doubts herself. Like her costume, she spent so much. Hey, is this okay? Is this okay? It's gonna be okay. And yeah, I'm like, it's gonna be awesome. And she's still worried about it up to the day of the wedding. But it turned out amazing. She's good at that stuff.
Sometimes. For me, I would say just like how dedicated he is to our family in general. Like, he tends to put himself last, which he shouldn't always do, but he does. But he makes sure all of us are happy and healthy and taken care of all the time.
We can see that.
Mhm.
So what's your favorite memory together?
I don't know. I think one that always comes to mind for me is our first anniversary. Do you remember our first anniversary?
Nope.
I knew it was just a me thing.
What? I don't remember.
You took me to that garden in South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was an old plantation. They turned into a big botanical garden. It was really pretty.
But he planned like the whole day for me on our very first anniversary. And it was probably, it was right after all the chaos of my grandpa and him being deployed. And so it was really our first celebration together in general. So, yeah. But I mean, I don't know, having our kids playing WoW together all these years is always fun. Like meeting the friends, playing Left 4 Dead together. I don't know. Just some things that come to mind all the time.
They're all game nights we used to have.
Yeah, all our game nights and celebrations. Yeah.
We used to have a
Nothing
lot of
particular.
game nights when we all lived in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dang.
You're next, Shelley.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is a little game, and that's pretty much. Oh no, okay. Yeah, just a little game. A couple questions. Okay, so it's called "How Well Do You Know Your Spouse?" Okay.
Okay.
Victoria, what is Wayne's favorite food?
I don't know. What's your favorite food?
Yeah, don't answer.
That's cheating.
No, if he has a favorite food, he eats everything. Like, I don't know. I would have to go with like, I don't know. If a restaurant, it would be like Hardee's or something, like a burger. But homemade, I don't even know. Steak gorgonzola, maybe, or your soup, zuppa toscana.
I don't really have one.
See, I told you.
If I had to pick one, like gun to my head, it would be my soup probably.
Yeah.
Just because it's really good soup.
It's good soup.
I'm making it Friday.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Wayne, what is Victoria's biggest pet peeve?
Her biggest pet peeve. I don't know. Thinking I don't listen to her.
Knowing he doesn't listen.
She talks at me when I've got headphones on, I got music playing, I've got 3 distractions. She's like, "Hey, Wayne, hey, look over here." Like, it's not ignoring you if I don't know that you're there to ignore you.
Still ignoring to me.
So, yeah, it's always to her. It's just straight ignoring. Doesn't matter. Probably that.
I don't know if you answered this. What was your first date? Actual
date?
first date. Like not you meeting that night, but like what was the
So
first
not dinner that night.
No. Let's go with
What
after
I
that.
would consider our first date is going to the movies when we got back. We went and seen that horror movie. Oh man, I don't even know what it is anymore. Signs or something?
Oh.
Probably.
But yeah, I think we just went to a movies and out to eat. It wasn't anything special, but it was probably our first real date together. But before we had kids, yeah, we went to the movies all the time and dinner, so
And the kids ruined it.
That's what kids do, yeah.
So who said I love you first?
Me.
Wayne, yeah.
Did you say I love you back? Like right after?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Or did you make him wait?
Did you say it on the phone or did we just say it in person?
In person.
Yeah, I would say it was in person, I think, for the first time.
Oh, you didn't say it on the in WoW?
When she
Before
came up
we
and
met?
me.
No.
No, it's when she came up and met me that week.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Since this is the last, well, there's kind of 2 questions here, but it's the last little 2 questions. So, since your anniversary is on April 1st, do people consider it as an April Fool's joke? I know we always joke about it, but
We do.
It's more just in case we did forget. And you're like, oh, April Fools. So far, I haven't had to use it.
Is that why you picked it?
It's in there. It's. I have it in case I need it. Emergency glass situation.
17
And
years
you've
and he's
never forgot?
needed it, though, so
You never
No.
forgot?
he's never forgot.
It's easy to not forget. April
Well,
1st.
I forgot mine.
It's really my April Fool's joke to him because he picked it just in case he never would, just so he would, in case he ever forgot, he
I
could
wish
use it.
It was different.
But now it's mine because he'll never forget it because it's April Fool's.
I could have got married like that Valentine's, like after Valentine's Day when all the flowers are on sale. And I could just
That
save
would've been
money
a
on
good
flowers.
opportunity for
I
you.
know. I freaking ruined it.
Yeah.
If I do it again, that's the regret.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
So
So, what do you guys usually do to celebrate?
a lot of nothing.
Sleep. I don't know.
We tend to go out to eat. I think
Yeah, usually it's
that's
go out to
always our
dinner
thing.
somewhere.
Yeah. Sometimes there's been plenty of years where he'll plan like adventures for me. Like one of the very first times I ever went indoor skydiving, I think was our anniversary, right? And he planned it for me and took me.
Took her to a Brazilian steakhouse up in DC and get a fogo de chao, real fancy. And
Yeah.
she sat there and ate salad. You go there to eat,
I
all you
love
can eat
salad.
meat, and she ate salad.
I had plenty of meat there too. That place was good. But yeah, I think we tend to always just go out to eat. But sometimes I would say every couple of years we'll plan like an adventure. Like the Plantation Gardens was our first year, or like indoor skydiving, or
Escape rooms.
escape rooms are a big thing for us. Yeah, I think we tend to do a lot of escape rooms together.
Do you guys include the boys when you do some of these adventures?
For our anniversary, no.
Yeah.
Now we have somebody watch them.
I mean, we take the boys plenty on their own adventures with us.
Yeah.
So
You need
I think
time.
we tend to keep our anniversary with just us. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that was all
That's
the
it for us.
questions. So, thanks for coming on,
Yeah,
Wayne.
thanks for coming on, Wayne.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for being our
Glad to
guest.
be here.
It wasn't that
Thank you for
bad,
listening to
right?
yourself.
Yeah, it's going to be weird listening to myself answer these questions.
But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us again this week. We will see you guys again next week.
Hold on. Shout out to Jack. What's up, buddy?
Shout out to Jack.
Yep.
All right.
right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for the laughs, the time we spent, every word, every moment meant. Take it